I've always liked the story of the prodigal son because to me, this could be the prayer that would follow the story of the prodigal son, as far as I'm concerned. Because the story of the prodigal son is all our journey. We've wandered away from our reality and we think we've squandered our Father's gifts to us. And what this is saying is you can never do that, because when you come home, what does the Father say? I love you, but you squandered my gifts. He doesn't say that. He says, I love you, and you're home, and that's all that matters. Because you didn't know your reality. You were dead, and now you're alive. And that's such a powerful message that Jesus said when he said to the son, when the Father says to the son in the parable of the prodigal son, and he says, you were dead and now you're alive. And that's us. Because what's happened, we always think about death as something that happens when the body is no more. When we do not live to the fullness of our reality, when we live from guilt and sin and fear, we are dead to our reality. We're dead right now. I've said this before, we're the Walking Dead. And there was no TV show called The Walking Dead. You know, when the TV show came out, The Walking Dead, I thought, darn it, I should have trademarked that line, because that's my line, you know, because that really, my idea was we're the Walking Dead. When we don't know our reality, we're the Walking Dead. We're like soulless, mindless beings. What's a zombie but a soulless, mindless, heartless thing, wandering around this world not knowing our reality. So when we do not know who we are, we're dead. We're dead to our reality. So there's no big fear about what's going to happen when you drop your body. You're dead now. Let's start truly living. Let's start truly living now. You know, that's what's important. And that to me is what the story of the prodigal son is all about. It's that we're wandering away, and all the time he holds a reality for us. He's holding that truth for us. He's holding that light for us. He's holding that awareness for us. We may not know it, but he's holding it for us. And that's what this lesson is saying. So it says, Father, today I am your son again. I've returned home. I'm the prodigal son that wandered off, and now I have come home yet again. Today we will anticipate the time when dreams of sin and guilt are gone, and we have reached the holy peace we never left. Isn't that what the prodigal son did? He left his reality. He seemed lost, dead to the truth, and when he came back, it was still there for him. And that's what this is saying. We need to start being so excited about the fact that our reality is waiting for us. What's getting in the way? Our guilt and our ideas of sin. What is sin from the Course's perspective? But the thought that we could be separate from our source and thereby separate from each other. That's all sin is. And guilt is nothing more than a thought that something could superimpose itself between love, that there could be an opposite to love. All guilt is a sense of unworthiness. And where does unworthiness come from except the opposite of love, which would be fear? And what does the Course even say about that? It says fear, what is all-encompassing, like love, can really have no opposite. So in the end, even our guilty, sinful feelings are not real, mistaken thoughts that need to be corrected. Now, the Course also knows that you believe deeply in your mistaken thoughts. Have you ever been in an argument with someone who believes deeply in their mistaken thoughts?
Every day.
Every day. We're constantly in arguments with people who believe deeply in their mistaken thoughts. And the more you fight against them by saying, let me correct you, let me correct you, let me correct you, what happens? Doesn't work. They don't listen because those mistaken thoughts are so very real to them. So you can't correct somebody by telling them they're wrong. What the Holy Spirit does is gently sort of put his arm around us and says, let me show you reality. Let me show you what's really going on here. Not by making you wrong, not by telling you you've got to change, but by showing you how much more peaceful, how much more loving, how much more joyous your life will be when you do begin to see as he would have you see. And so the Holy Spirit comes into our minds, knowing that we're deluded, but holding the truth for us and recognizing the mistakes that we believe are so real. And by not diminishing us, because when somebody believes in a lie, it's best not to diminish them. It's just better to help guide them into another way of seeing until they can finally let go of the lie. And that's all this is saying. Let's just anticipate the day when dreams of sin and guilt are gone and we have reached the peace we never left. What does that tell you? If the peace has never been left, what's not real? The sin and the guilt. So it's never telling you you're wrong, but it's just saying, let's go back to what is real. Okay, let's remember what is real. The Course is constantly telling us, instead of trying to figure out how you got into this problem, why your life is such a mess, what person you should get rid of so you can be much more peaceful, what job you should get rid of so you can be much more peaceful, how much more money you should have so you could be so much more peaceful. Let's just focus on the truth, it says. Because it knows that you may think you need all of these things, but it knows exactly what you need. The Holy Spirit knows exactly what you need. And you will know exactly what you need in this world once you get past all the things you think you need, all the things you think you don't need, and focus on the truth. So that's why these workbook lessons say go past all the things you think you need, all the people you think that have irritated you, all the things you think you've done to irritate yourself, all the wrong things, all the right things, it even says, and just focus on the peace of God. Because once you get there, you'll know exactly what to do. You'll know what to do. And you know that. There's not a one of us that has not at some level, if you've been doing any of this for a very long time, know when you're on the right track.